Survivor Thrivers, authentically me, Regina B, the B stands for Brillanette, is here to do a sit down video with you. I wouldn't necessarily call this an update, more so I'm just sharing with you the Nike training plan because I finally got it printed and I do like printed things. I like to be able to go back and reference things, and sometimes I don't always like to refer to my phone. So I printed this off. So I thought I would share with you guys what this training plan is and how it's kind of set up and why I like it and why I'm choosing it. If you've been clocking with the other videos that I've been uploading, you know that I am on week 12 and today is actually Tuesday, August the 23rd. So it was run day 3, and earlier I crushed the speed run. We're not gonna get into that because you can watch the other video if that's what you're interested in. But I wanted to share this with you, as well as this really cool tool that I found that is also by Dr. Seth Gillihan. It's called the CBT deck. And so I wanted to share that with you guys, and I want to start using these cards. And I think it's really cool and I think it's really innovative. I don't know when he published these or what, but I wanted to share these with you. So let's get right into it. And as you can hear, no one's home. This is probably not going to be an everyday occurrence because my husband, he is able to either work remote or go into the office. So I'm taking this opportunity to spend some time to give you guys some content, I guess. So let's get into the half marathon training program. You can find this training program on the Nike Run Club app. So if you download the app, which it is free and it is a great resource. Now, I am an Apple phone girl, I am an iPhone girl, but you know, their fitness program is a monthly fee. Nike's is free, and they have, I don't want to say hundreds, but they have so many running plans on there. They have so many guided runs on there, and it has just been a great app for me. I've been using it now for, I believe, a little over 3 years, and it really has helped my running journey a lot. So I definitely encourage you, if you don't have the Nike Run Club app, go ahead and download it. It is free and they have great resources. They also have a 5K training plan, a 10K training plan, and a marathon training plan. So this is the half marathon training plan, and it starts out by explaining what a great coach is. So it says a great coach will tell you you've got a lot of different runners inside of you. To be the best runner, you've got to let them all out. Run on hills, run on a track, do short runs, long runs, and everything in between. A great coach will tell you running shouldn't hurt, and some days the best run is no run. If your week, what does it say? If your week of runs looks like a playlist with the same song by the same artist 17 times in a row, a great coach will tell you to mix things up, to turn each week into an epic kick-ass playlist. We'll guide you through it. And then it just says download and run with the Nike Run Club app and this 14-week audio guided run half marathon training program to coach yourself across the finish line. So that's a great way to and I love that they have it to where you can either download this on your phone like these pages, or you can print. I love that. So it goes into saying this 14-week training plan combines speed, endurance, and recovery to get you ready to tackle the half marathon. I'm not going to read all that, but that is exactly what we've been doing. And then it says, this plan works for you. Your schedule varies, so does the weather and how you feel. But here are a few things to keep in mind as you modify this plan. Speed runs and long runs are essential parts of the plan to maximize your training. You have 2 recovery runs and 2 rest days. But as you know, I do a run day cycle of 6 days and I rest on the 7th day. So I have 1 day, I guess you could say. But avoid doing speed runs on back-to-back days, which I switch it up. Excuse me. Training starts when you start. This plan was designed around a 14-week schedule to maximize results. It was built to adapt to your experience level and intended to be uniquely flexible to your needs as you prepare to tackle a half marathon. Whether you're 8 weeks or 14 weeks from race day, you can jump into this plan whenever it suits you. And then it says tools to take you further. Record your runs, reflect on progress, and grab some encouragement from your community along the way with the Nike Run Club app. The Nike Training Club app is a great way to add cross-training to your schedule. Audio guided runs can be found for every run in this plan. And we have been utilizing that. So then it's explaining the weekly workouts. So it gives you a definition of each run. So we have our speed runs. It's building strength through speed training is important as you prepare. I'm not going to read every single thing. And then it says long runs, you need endurance training to help prepare your body and mind to go the distance on race day. Recovery runs, recovering from your workout days is just as important as the workouts themselves. Rest days, great running is dependent on great rest and recovery. These days are meant for you to recharge and recover. So then it says how to use the pace chart. And so it says throughout the plan, you will see and hear references to different paces and efforts you should aim to maintain during specific workouts. And then let's see here. And then it's telling you to find your starting pace. You could use a recent 5K, 10K, half marathon, or marathon time if you have one run. By recent, we mean in the last month or two. And honestly, I have all kind of different paces. It really just depends on my mood. It depends on my playlist, because sometimes my playlist just gets me going and like I can't slow down. So here is the pace chart, which I really do like the pace chart, but I feel like this is a tool that you can use, but I don't think it's something that you should like make it concrete. Or for me, I'm not making it concrete. I've never run a half marathon before, so I'm really just looking to finish. I'm not looking at an average pace. I'm not looking at a finish time. I'm looking at finishing. And for the half marathon that I'm running in November, they do have pacers. So that's why I do want to have an idea of where I feel comfortable, what pace I feel comfortable at, and what pace I feel like I can do for a long period of time. But my goal is to just finish, to complete the race. So for me, you can go by your mile best, your 5K best, your 10K best. So for me, I'm not going to go by my mile best because I have had like my mile best of all time was like 7:43, but they say go by something recent. So if I was to go by something recent, I did finish a 5K in 9:40. And so it says your average pace was 9 minutes and 40 seconds for a 5K. So then it says your 10K best, if that is what your 5K was here, then it goes across and says your 10K best should be around 10 minutes. It says that your tempo average should be at 10:30. Then it says your half marathon is a pace of 10:40. And then marathon best, 10:50. And then recovery day is 11:35. But for me and what I've been doing recently with my long runs and incorporating long runs into a weekly thing on Sundays, I'm seeing that between 11 and 12 is where I feel the most comfortable. And if you've seen any of those videos, my first long run that I shared with you guys was in my community, but in my community, it's really, really hilly. And so I was able to get that first long run done, and the average pace was like 12:21. And that also included walking up some of those hill pushes. So I felt like that was a really good pace. Then the run that we did this week was at the track, which is a flat surface. So my pace was faster. The race that I'm running, they said that they picked out a flatter race, but I'm familiar with the trail, so I know that there's gonna be like hills or inclines. Not necessarily hills, because hills are like, whew, but there's gonna be some inclines mixed in there. So I'm shooting to be between like 11:30 and 12 for my half marathon pace. And according to this, it doesn't have 11:30, but it does have 11:45. So it's saying that I would be able to complete the half marathon in 2 hours and 35 minutes if I'm able to stay at a pace of 11:45. So that's just a great tool to have. And then it just gives you another example of how to find your pace using the chart. And it says things to know when you have your range of pace targets. It helps to understand a few things about how you will use them. And then it has some paragraphs in here that I'll read the first of each bullet. It says, when in doubt, be sure to focus on effort. As you make your way through the training, there will be days you may be a little ahead of pace and other days a little behind. Remember that the paces are only to be used as a guide. And then it says, when this plan is completed and you head out for race day, be confident in all the work you've done. It is that work that will take you to new fitness levels, faster paces, this starting line, and all the ones beyond. Cool. Then we have a glossary here. I'm not going to get into all of this. We know what a guided run is. That's self-explanatory. And then they go into explaining the types of runs and what they are. So then it says a progression run, interval runs, fartleks, hills, and tempo runs. So progressions improve stamina and allow the body to adapt to the stress of running. Intervals refer to a speed run session that includes a set of running and rest intervals. A fartlek is loosely translated from Swedish to speed play. Fartlek works on speed and strength by alternating distances and paces during a continuous run. Hill workouts develop speed and form. It takes extra effort to run uphill, so you do not need to run as fast as you would on a flat section. And then a tempo run is a hard but controlled pace that can be run as long intervals or a steady run of 1 to 10 miles. The purpose of a tempo is to build mental and physical endurance and to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like in my running, there's so many things that I'm learning that I didn't learn in my childhood, as a young adult, as a grown woman even. Like I'm 39, and to hear get comfortable with being uncomfortable, that's true about everyday life. And that's why I'm passionate about running, because it really does. Now that I'm a part of this community and I've been listening to different coaches and different people, running is a metaphor for life. It's not a fast race. It is a steady pace, So I just get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Every day and every minute of every day, you're not always going to be comfortable. There's going to be something that disrupts you, something that makes you uncomfortable. Somebody may cut you off in traffic. Somebody may, and I'm speaking from personal experience, somebody may give you a funny look that you're like, your kids may have a meltdown. Your spouse could be in a funky mood and you may think it's about you, but it's really about work. It's just get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Even during my speed run, I had so many distractions, and that's discomforting because I wanted to just hit it and quit it. I didn't want any distractions. And so there were distractions. My run got interrupted by a call. My watch was like being all weird because it got sweat droplets on it. I accidentally hit like the wrong number on the miles per hour, and I had to hold on because I thought I was going to fall. Like all of those things are uncomfortable. And so it talks about types of pace. So this is getting into effort. RPE is rate of perceived effort, your effort, how you feel in your body. Not compared to anybody that's to the right of you, to the left of you, in front of you, or behind you. How do you feel? So it says your best pace is a question mark out of 10 effort. This is the pace that makes you feel like you are at your best. Sometimes this may mean your fastest, and sometimes this may mean running easier. Your mile pace is your 9 out of 10 effort. Your 5K pace is your 7 out of 8 effort. Your 10K pace is 6 to 7. tempo pace is 6 out of a 10 effort, and a recovery pace is between a 4 and a 5 effort. So there you have it. Great resource. You know, you can pin that up on your wall just so you can remind yourself. And it says, so it says everyone's training journey is different, but there are some recurring challenges and questions that many runners encounter along the way. Here's how to understand and overcome these common hurdles on your road to race day. If your schedule does not match the training schedule, then adjust the training schedule to your needs. If you don't know how to figure out your pace, then experiment until you find it. If you're tired, figure out why. Feeling fatigued is normal as your training progresses, but make sure you're supporting yourself in all other aspects of your life. If you lack motivation, look for inspiration. This is just so awesome. And it's great that Nike offers this free of charge. Free of charge. I'm not gonna, I'm not that big of a YouTuber anyway. Like, hey, to my 14 subscribers, I love you guys. Thank you for your support. But I was Googling something the other day, like what are the best yoga poses to do after a long run? And this one website popped up on the Google search, and they had the nerve to say, like the article popped up, and then something else popped up that said you have to, if you want to finish reading this article or enjoy our website, you need to subscribe to the website. And it was a fee. And I was like, I wish I would. I wish I would. I wish I would. I hit that back button and I was like, okay, let me go to the next one down then. So anyway, but this is just great that Nike offers this for free. And everything costs, and not all the time do we have the money to be able to, get stuff like this. So this is just awesome. Thanks, Nike. I appreciate it. So the half marathon training plan, as you know, we're 12 weeks to go. So they do like a countdown instead of a count up. So we already crushed 14 weeks to go. And then as you can see, they start off with a recovery run, and the guided run that they suggest is 14 weeks to go. I did do this one when I first started, and I added on some extra, but it was just really motivating, encouraging. The Coach Bennett, gives you different tips and just explains to you what this journey is going to be about over the next 14 weeks. Then they have their speed run, recovery run, speed run, long run. And that's every week. And for me, I just add on. So I start my week with a long run on Sunday, and then I do a recovery run because I just need to recover, and it's much shorter. So this past Sunday, the recovery run, the long run was 7-mile run, and it took me 1 hour and 23 minutes to complete. And after that, I did a recovery run, and the recovery run was 35 minutes, which was yesterday. And that was just, like they say, to shake out the legs. That was just to go really easy on myself. But my pace was a little bit faster. And I really feel like that's just because my legs actually felt really good. And then today is day 3 for me, so I did a speed run. But this is their 14 weeks to go. And we've already completed 13 weeks to go. And we are currently at 12 weeks to go. Run day 3 done. So then it goes all the way through. And today I actually did do the guided run that they suggested, which was called the Runner Up. I did it on my treadmill. I did not listen to the guided run. I just read the work, and then I went into the app and read what it was about. But it was called the Runner Up. It's hill work. 5-minute warm up, 45 seconds at your 10K effort, 15 seconds at your best effort. Interval series should be done 5 times. Recovery is 1 minute and 15 seconds after the 10K effort and 45 seconds after the best effort. And then I cool down with a walk. But if you guys are interested, definitely check out that video because yeah, I did this and I definitely challenged myself. And we literally, I made sure that I did not start this plan until I had 14 weeks to go to my marathon, or my half marathon, which is in November. So we're getting to it. And then let's see, finally so the last 2 weeks, when it's 2 weeks to go, The long run is a 7-mile run. And then when it's 1 week to go, they have you do like a dress rehearsal run, and they have you run 13.1 miles before the race. So 1 week before. And then this is just a sample. It's just showing you, it's just showing you at week 11 to go, like how to do the run. And if you want to do it yourself. And then it ends with the NRC check mark. So yeah, guys, I mean, you know, I'm really excited. I really enjoy it. This is my second time actually doing this 14-week plan, but the first time I did it, I actually didn't run a half marathon. So, you know, I'm excited as these runs keep coming up, especially the long runs. So when I was looking at my Nike app, the longest run that I've ever done so far has been 8.43 miles. So, you know, once I'm at 7.5. This week's long run I'm at 7 miles. So this week's long run will be 7.5. And then the week after that, because I'm putting on a half a mile each long run, the week after that'll be 8. But when we get to 8.5, I'm excited. I'm going to stay motivated. You know, I'm going to keep just adding that half a mile every week until it's time to do our dress rehearsal of our 13.1 miles. And I've also been listening to Audible, to the episodes that are I can't recall what it's called, but it's basically Joan Benoit Samuelson's story, and she's talking and she's getting interviewed, and I love her. I was first introduced to her through the Nike Run Club app. I listened to an interview where her daughter was interviewing her about the first marathon and how women weren't allowed to run, you know, more than, I think she said 1.5 miles because it would mess up our bodies and our uterus. I don't know. But that's really been motivating me as well. And it's been putting me in a headspace of like, maybe I can run a marathon one day. I don't know. We gonna see. we gonna see, you know. So I found this online. I was just looking for some more cognitive behavioral therapy tools, and I found this. This is also by Dr. Seth J. Gillihan, who in my earlier videos, if you watch any of those, that was his is the workbook that I went through, the 7 weeks to retrain your brain. So this says the CBT deck: reduce stress in your life with practical, action-oriented, and mindfulness tools to quickly build positive emotions. The 101 practices inside the CBT deck will help you calm and redirect your thoughts, overcome self-limiting beliefs, choose actions that build the life you want, and be more connected and engaged in the present moment. Cool, so let's open it up here. I've opened it up already. Let's open it up. So here's the deck. I just think this is so awesome. So let's see. The CBT deck for clients and therapists. 101 practices to improve thoughts, be in the moment, and take action in your life. And can I just say that I am a person that feels like the Bible and science are one. The Bible is just, you know, if you want the creation story, boom. If you want to get more in depth into that, then, you know, you can study nature. I don't know. But anyway, there's a scripture that says, you know, take your thoughts captive. There's scriptures that talk about thoughts. Take your thoughts captive. Don't be anxious for anything, but in everything pray. Cast your cares on him, for he cares for you. Take no thought for tomorrow. So the Bible is also saying, like, change your thoughts. My favorite scripture that I have tattooed is be renewed by the restoring of your mind. Like, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So anyway, but this is a great resource. You know, this is, if you're somebody like me who, you know, the scripture, but you're like, ooh, can you like show me a little bit more? Because there's some people that can read that and be like, boom, flip they switch. Me, it's a progression for me. So it says these 3 approaches how to use this deck. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a practical, action-oriented approach for quickly building positive emotions and meaningful engagement in your life. You'll find 3 powerful types of practices in the CBT deck. Think. Cognitive strategies for training your thoughts to serve you well. Act. Behavioral techniques for choosing actions that build the life you want to live. And B. Mindfulness practices for experiencing greater presence and connection in each moment. And then it says these 3 approaches overlap and will work together to reinforce one another. For maximum benefit, use 1 card each day and be sure to practice the techniques rather than simply reading the cards. You can carry the day's card with you or post it somewhere visible to remind you of what you're working on. If you ever need additional motivation, remind yourself of the positive changes you're looking forward to that will make your efforts worthwhile. With repeated practice, you'll find yourself using these techniques more automatically. I'm wishing you all the best along the way. And yeah, I will say even completing his book has helped me. Like, I'm not saying that like it was boom like a switch. You have to practice. You have to put these things into practice. That's why I said, like, yeah, the Bible tells us take no thought for tomorrow. Don't be anxious about anything. But you have to practice those things. You can't just read it in a scripture and then walk away and just not practice it. And this is a tool that helps me practice just that. So then the back of the cards, as you can see, this says be, this says act, and this says think. So, I mean, I feel like you could probably shuffle them. So let's just do this first one. So this says think. So it says counter all or nothing thoughts. Pay attention for times today when you're thinking in black or white terms, such as nothing is going my way. Consider whether the situation is actually that extreme. For example, how many things in reality actually are going the way you want them to. Practicing shades of gray in each experience. Yeah. So this one says act, and it says plan rewarding activities. Write down 3 activities you would like to do more often that bring you enjoyment and or a sense of accomplishment. Plan a specific time in your calendar to do one of these activities each day for the next 3 days. Notice any effects these activities have on your emotions. So that was act. And then let's see what a B says. Spit a little bit there. B. This says a body that works. Make a mental list of all the ways your body is working well. Even if you're dealing with a chronic health issue, notice all the systems that have to function to keep you alive and allow you to experience life, like brain, lungs, heart. More in our lives is often right than we realize. That's so true. So this is going to be fun. I'll probably start this tomorrow, and I'm just going to shuffle it up so that when I pick whatever card I pick, it's like spontaneous. But this sounds a lot like what the work he had us do in the 7-week plan. But for me, it just seems like a funner way. Like, I enjoyed his book, but this is just more of a straight to the point, funner way to do things, which I enjoy. So I'm really looking forward to going through this deck. I really do think for those of us who struggle with anxieties, who struggle with depression, who has so many thoughts that cross our mind, this is a really great tool to help you overcome negative thought patterns, anxiety, depression, because negative thought patterns really is what leads to anxiety and depression. And it's not something, I feel like, if it's something you struggle with your whole life, it's not something that is going to be easy, and it's not something that you're going to be able to do just overnight. It's something that you're going to have to put into practice, that you're going to have to come back to time and time again. Like, I continually have to counter negative thoughts in the most simplest of terms. I think just, what day was it? I think I shared it with you. It was one of my runs last week, and I worked myself up so upset that before I started my run, I started crying because I was praying and I was just like, why are these thoughts? Like, why do I care? You know, I was running at a track and I knew that I was that's what I wanted to do. And I was super excited to do it. But the minute I stepped out of my door, all these negative thoughts of like, what if, you know, your neighbors probably think you're all that. Why? Just why? You know? And so then I'm walking up there and I knew that the teachers were at the school preparing to go back to school. So I'm just like, oh, what if, you know, I'm running by and someone's watching or something? And it's like, who cares? Or it's like, instead of thinking they're turning their noses up or making fun of you, you know, maybe they're inspired by you. And that's not a way that I think. I don't run and think like, oh, I'm inspiring someone. No, usually it's on the negative side of like, they probably think I look slow. I probably look fat. You know what I mean? Like, that's just real stuff for me. And I got really, really upset. And I was just praying about it and being just honest. Like, why? Why do I even care? And I know that it's from all of the work that I've done throughout my life. I know that a lot of it comes from childhood trauma. I know that a lot of it comes from belief systems that you experienced as a childhood. Like, a lot of our belief systems were built throughout our childhood and throughout our adolescence. And so as we grow up, we have to work really, really hard to uproot those beliefs that are not truthful, that are not the way that you want to lead your life. And so it's hard work, but I enjoy doing it because I want to be the best me and I want to be authentically me. And so, and I hope that that helps someone, because if you struggle with that, it can feel lonely, especially if you know, we usually attract what we are not or what we admire in others that we wish we had in ourselves. So like my husband, he doesn't struggle with that. Like he doesn't struggle with that. Like if someone like gets over real fast and gets in front of him, you know, he don't even notice. He doesn't even notice. You know, I'll be like, did you see that? And he's like, what? And I'll be like, they just made, you know, or if he cuts someone off, I'm like, you just cut that person off? And he's like, no, I didn't. I had to get over. You know, he's complete opposite. You know, it could be, I could bring up something that like his mom said or something like that. And he's like, I don't care about that, you know? So anyway, it can feel lonely and you can really feel like, you know, what's wrong with me? But don't think that. Think what's right with me. I have to tell myself that too. Don't think what's wrong with you. Think what's right with you. You are amazing. You are exactly who you need to be right now. You are exactly where you need to be in the present moment. You're not in the past. You're not yet in the future. You're right here in this present moment, and exactly where you are is exactly where you should be. Okay, doing whatever you are doing right now, even if it's not what you envision for yourself, what you are doing right now is exactly where you need to be. And as the days progress, where you're going and where you're headed is a journey, and you will get to where you need to get to. Wherever you're praying to get to, you will get there. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other, keep doing the work, keep finding resources that will help you with whatever you're struggling with. You know, keep just looking for the best version of you. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you've made it this far, I really appreciate you spending this time with me. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you to all my subscribers. I really appreciate you taking the time to subscribe to the channel. It means so much to me. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have anything you would like to share, leave it down in the comments, and definitely subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. God loves you so much more.